everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Monday, February 12th, 2018. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Richard Cheese.
Mr. Cheese, welcome. Everybody, please remember you can help support this show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. In addition, we do go live Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Alaska time on Facebook and YouTube. And, of course, if you have stories you want us to talk about, please send them to our subreddit, which is our iReaditcast, or via email, which is feedback.ireadit@gmail.com. Richard Cheese, how are you today?
Pretty good. I forgot that I was supposed to think of a name, so I was going through and I was like, what's a funny name? Richard, because it's like shortened as Dick.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, there's a guy named Richard Cheese. I'll just take his name. So it's Dick Cheese, if anyone didn't actually know.
Do you know this person, or is this someone you've seen online, or?
No, it's Richard Cheese. He's the guy who does all the lounge covers of all the other music.
I have no idea.
He had a song in the Day of the Dead remake.
Which I haven't seen, so.
That's all right. You haven't seen anything good.
Oh, snap. You're not wrong.
Richard Cheese is great.
I've seen plenty that's bad, though.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Cheese, how are you? How was your weekend? How was your day?
It's all right. I'm real tired. I kind of can't wait to go to sleep.
So you're
kind of can't wait for my paycheck to come in.
You're back to the status quo of your life.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just tired. I just want to die and sleep forever.
Yeah. I mean,
that sounds so nice.
Sounds
a light coma, maybe a heavy coma sounds real good.
And maybe anywhere from a few weeks to maybe like a year.
Dude, a year is kind of too short.
Maybe 20?
Maybe not that long. Skip me at least 2 or 3 years ahead of time.
Yeah?
Actually, let's skip 4 years ahead.
Why? Why specifically? Oh, never mind. I understand why. We will talk about the president later. Oh, snap. I didn't go to work today.
Oh, why's that?
The Anchorage School District, all the schools are closed, so we stayed home with the kiddo.
Lucky. I texted my boss this morning because we had a liberal leave policy, and I was like, hey, there's a good chance I'm gonna get a no, but you got the liberal leave policy. Could I just stay home? I didn't get a response back, so I went to work.
Damn. Did you get a response back later?
She was like, you better not be pulling that shit. And I was like, all right, jeez.
Yeah, don't mess with her. She's feisty.
She changed her hair color. It's now like an auburn.
Interesting. I'm so used to the black with the white accents, so.
Yeah, it looks pretty good as an auburn, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah? Do I need to show her this video?
No.
No? Are you sure?
No, I mean, she looks good as is.
Okay, very well then. I had a pretty good weekend. It was the kid's birthday. She turned 8 on Friday. She got to go spend some time at her taekwondo for a Valentine's party, which meant that me and Jennifer got to go enjoy a date out. So we went and got some ramen and coffee. Saturday was, I think I played like 10 hours of Final Fantasy 12. And then Sunday was D&D, and I almost killed my entire party.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
We ended the Greek campaign because Ryan got real fucking lucky.
Oh?
He was manning catapults, and he launched a catapult, and he rolled a percentile, and it hit the opposing commander and like 2 of his generals, and so they all just fucking everyone there was routed because their leaders were dead.
Oh, fancy that.
And so now we're gonna do an Arabic mixture with like ancient Egyptian. So we're in a continent called Arabica, and it's like Arabic Africa. And my character's name is Kashim al-Balbad, and he is a tamer. So he gets to use wisdom for perform, and he gets to use perform for handle animal checks, and he gets to just sit there and play music for snakes. So, he has a snake, and it is called Buttercup.
Are you DMing this one again?
No, I'm not.
Who's DMing it this time?
Draven.
Ah, all right. I will have to go back to work tomorrow, but in the meantime, shall we talk about some news from today?
Sure.
Sure? You suppose so? That'd be acceptable?
Suppose.
5.
NBC fires Olympic analyst after comments infuriate South Korea.
This is submitted by the Brainwasher 14 to our television.
You know, some people are just geniuses.
Yo, this guy was so fucking wrong in what he said.
Yeah, so this is a story of Joshua Cooper Ramo. He said that Koreans are grateful for Japan's role in their economic development.
Absolutely not.
No, they're not friends. They're neighbors. And they don't like each other.
They kind of hate each other because, I don't know. World War II?
It was between 1 and 2. Really, is when all that happened.
So, what happened was Japan started occupying and colonizing South Korea. Well, South Korea was not a huge fan of the way they were doing it because they were being dickheads, and a lot of the times, a lot of their women were forced into military brothels and whatnot.
I think dickhead is a little bit of a light way to describe it. Like, it was for about,
it depends on how bad you hate dickheads.
It was for about 35 years that Japan just completely just ransacked Korea. They're like, we own you, and we're going to continue to destroy you and just take anything of value that we care about because you're not important.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a little bit more than just dickheads.
Like, if you ever want to get even the smallest little bit of insight as to why Korea just still has probably a 500-year grudge against Japan, just Google Nanking, Nanking, and you will get a very clear idea.
Massacre of Nanking.
So no, Korea doesn't owe anything to Japan whatsoever. They don't like Japan. They don't approve of Japan. They're not friends. And after these comments, Korea was quite upset.
Understandably so, though.
Yeah, I think so. So in which case, they raised their concerns and complaints to the NBC, which NBC promptly fired Mr. Ramo and said, "You're stupid. Goodbye."
Yeah, he couldn't do a little bit of research first before just running his mouth.
Well, and NBC's only response really was that we understand that you were insulted by these comments. We apologize. We are sorry, and they have been let go. And it wasn't planned or anything like that. This is nothing on NBC. This was an off-the-cuff comment from Mr. Ramo when the president of Japan showed up.
Yeah. In a more lighthearted note, there was a teen Olympian that had overslept and lost their coat and said fuck on TV and won U.S.'s first gold of 2018.
Nice.
My country.
I also have no idea what it means, but apparently it's really impressive that one of the figure skaters from Japan landed the first triple axel at the Olympics. I don't know what a triple axel is, but I'm going to toot America's horn real quick and say awesome job us.
A triple axel is when they do that thing where they skate around and then jump and spin.
Mm-hmm.
They spin 3 times.
Well, she landed one. Cleanly.
That's fucking sick.
Apparently. I don't know. I didn't watch it. All I saw, because I was looking for pictures and stuff, I was like, oh my god, look what this person did. I'm like, I don't know anything about figure skating, but good job. Yay, sports. Do the thing, get the points.
If I'm going to sit down and watch any sports, it's either like shit off of the Ocho or the Olympics, because the Olympics, I feel, has a very, very definite purpose.
Well, yeah, the Olympics are like, aside from the whole times of peace and stuff, is also like, let's showcase the best that humanity can do.
Without drugs, mind you.
Without drugs, most of the time.
Except if you're a
Russia.
No, they're not allowed in the Olympics. They are, what is it? Not performers.
Independent athlete from
independent athletes from Russia. That's right.
Yeah, so they get to compete for themselves, and that's it. Which, I mean, I guess is fine in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you still get to say that you went to the Olympics.
Well, and also
it just means that. Your country didn't win it.
Well, yeah, it's like if you win the gold, you still won the gold. It's just not attributed to your country, so you still won.
Yeah.
4.
But I wonder how many things that Russians have won.
I don't know.
Like this time around.
Woman dragged out of West Virginia House hearing for listing oil and gas contributions to members.
This was submitted by Jeff and RTP to Our Politics.
So this is the story of Lisa Lucas, who is currently running for something, something in West Virginia. In any case, there is also a hearing in regards that was being held on Capitol Hill about a sponsorship bill for the oil and gas industry that would allow companies to drill on minority mineral owners' land without their consent. And she appeared and was wanted to make a statement, and it was the time for the public hearing, so she was given her time. Now that said, she was very direct in what she had to say. So she, made the comment that as a member of the public, she is only given like a minute and a half to say anything about the sponsored bill, while lobbyists are giving any amount of time they want, especially at private parties that are then paid for by these large companies. And then with the time she had left, she began listing the members of the House committee, as well as the number of contributions and the amount that they had received from different oil and gas companies. Now, she had only gotten about 5 of them listed off when she was asked by one of the people she had already listed off that no personal comments were to be made, and she said that this is not a personal comment because...
Yeah, that's kind of an important thing.
It's public information. He said that it was a personal comment. He's going to call her out of order if she continued to talk about individuals on the committee. She continued to read forward and then was escorted by armed guards out of the room.
How did everyone else react?
No, they didn't really give any reaction. They just kind of sat there and watched it happen because that's what people do.
What? That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I would have rioted, but
So, but
I'm looking for a reason to throw a fucking chair.
Yeah, everybody that has spoken out of their support for the bill, all of them have received sizable contributions from the oil and gas industry, like $50,000 plus each.
God damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's more than I make in a year. So,
good God. Yeah, that's a lot more than I make in a year.
So, I mean, when people try and say that lobbyists and corporate contributions don't affect things, it's really blatant that they do.
Yeah, especially when they're being pointed out and everyone's just like, hey, you can't do that.
Yeah,
Stop.
apparently they don't like it when you point it out, Nathan. They don't like it when you call them out on their shit.
I want every single one of those men to be replaced.
Eventually, Nathan. Hopefully. I mean, they have to die eventually, right?
Fuck, taking them long enough.
I know, right? Some of them, it's like, you will never go away. You stain on the world. Alas, though. Alas.
Aren't they a fucking stain, though?
3.
The market has spoken. Clean energy just became the cheapest source of electricity.
This was submitted by QWERTY Ninja to our Futurology.
Now, it sort of has. It's not actually hit the point where you can get solar energy cheaper than you can coal or oil or anything else. The way that they're passing off this data is that the bids for what the cost of energy would be for new plants are significantly cheaper. So recently this company said we want to build a new solar energy plant, and then they begin accepting bids for clean energy projects from, different companies that said we'll build it for you and this is what it'll cost and this is what the output will be and that kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. If you were to build a brand new coal plant, the cost per kilowatt hour of electricity would be 13 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, with the extreme competition of the industry to get those jobs for the solar panels, the cost of electricity from a solar power farm under these current bids would be around 3.6 cents per kilowatt hour. So, like, a fourth.
That's fucking cool, though.
It is. And it means that people are fighting over the ability to install solar panels, which is continuously making solar installations continuously cheaper, which means that solar is cheaper than it has ever been and is more profitable for a good number of people than it's ever been.
I feel just in the year that we had been talking about all of this, that it went from something that seemed crazy because it cost way too much to being clearly the better option, and yet everyone's shoving their dicks in their ears.
Well, interestingly enough, not everyone, okay? The people that are shoving their dicks in their ears are the politicians that have been bought by the oil and gas industry, okay? Whereas the company, like other companies, not quite the same. So our friend Adam used to work for a company that installed solar cells, right? And that company became like a $1.3 billion company over 4 years for one specific purpose. And because there is a major tax out through renewable energy like solar. So the entire company was completely funded by two investors, State Farm and Geico. Because what they're able to do is they're able to list that as an investment, and any profits that are generated from that, because it's generated from a renewable energy source, are taxed differently and taxed significantly less. So they get to keep a substantially larger margin of the profits generated through solar power. So while the oil and gas industry is completely opposed to it, a good number of other companies that are looking for places to spend money, to make money and pay less taxes, are investing in solar. So,
which is good. Except for that whole thing. Oh, yeah, Tim just mentioned it. Except for the whole solar panel thing Trump did.
Well, and that, again, as I said last time that came up, that is a tariff for imported solar cells. So if they are made in America, that 30% tax doesn't apply.
But it's killing jobs, dude.
I understand, but it's not going to kill solar.
No, but it's going to severely hamper it.
Only if you want to import stuff, that's all.
Most of our fucking solar panels are imported.
I mean, the ones that Adam used in Vegas were made in Vegas.
Okay, so you got those ones. Congrats. Well done. Meanwhile, all of these people who are working in these factories that were transporting all of these fucking solar panels that come from other countries now no longer have jobs because those factories need to shut down because nobody's wanting to fucking get tariffed all to fucking shit.
Yeah, there's other problems with those factories, like the fact that they pay them, cents on the dollar.
In America?
No, it's not in America.
I'm talking about American jobs. We have factories here that receive these products and then distribute them. All of those American jobs where we're receiving these products in are going to take a very big hit, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
Then they should just adapt to build the solar panels here. I'm not saying that it's not cool. Like, I understand why it's dicks, but the fact is that it happened, but it's not going to shut the solar industry down.
No, but it's a huge fucking blow to the solar industry because now we're going to have to start pretty much from scratch in America.
A lot of it's built here.
A lot of it's built in South Korea, dude.
Well, Trump doesn't want the money going to South Korea. He wants it to stay here.
But a lot of the money was staying here by people having those jobs.
No, I understand. But the way that you speak about it is like it kills solar, which it nowhere nearly does that at all. And the people that made those in South Korea, they'll just export them to a country that isn't us.
Right. But I'm not talking about the problem with the South Korean company and the, American companies. I'm talking about the American people with their jobs. It'll take a fucking while before a company will start up with the other solar panel in America so that people can, go over there. We already have people with these jobs. We already have potentially more jobs by letting more foreign entities continue to do business over here. Sure, we have money going back overseas, but it definitely hinders our solar sources. There is zero reason to exactly as Tim says, you're utilizing tariffs to weed out the opportunity for solar energy.
I mean,
there was no good reason that those tariffs went there.
If it's profitable enough and is expected to explode as much as it is and is clearly continuing to do so, considering that this company that wants to install these solar cells received 430 bids, 251 of which were solar, those tariffs clearly aren't hurting it enough.
You just wait, man. I'm telling you, those tariffs are a bad deal.
I'm not saying that they don't suck, but I'm saying that they're not nearly as detrimental as what you're making it out to be.
You fucking wait, man. They're going to be. It's fucking detrimental. Those tariffs were zero reason.
If it was,
we're always talking about things being done for the money, and this was not something that was being done for the money.
You're also somebody who's always talking about how taxes are good, Nathan. This is a tax.
But
that's all this is a tax.
Taxes are good. Don't get me wrong. Taxes are fine and great, but there are certain amounts that you should be taxing things, and the tariffs that have been placed on these overseas things are clearly way too fucking large. There was zero. Sure, place a tariff on them. Place a tax on them. Sure, that's fine. But do you need to be to the point where it's essentially killing that fucking thing coming into America? No, there is zero reason for those tariffs. All right? You want to start taxing solar energy? Tax it in different ways. Put the tariffs at a lower thing so that it encourages not just having an American monopoly.
251 bids on this project alone, Nathan, says that those tariffs aren't hurting.
Thank you. 251 bids. I'm glad you're continuing to repeat that. But I'm telling you, these tariffs are a bad fucking idea. Because it not only hurts the American people, but it'll hurt the people in that fucking country too. Because they get tons of money coming from us. Thank you, Tim. Think about the giant greater good of the world, the people, not just that business and America. I'm talking about American jobs and not American jobs being fucking hindered by this. There was no reason for the tariff.
Where are you feeling as though there is no reason for it? If it was currently not a taxed, roadway, essentially.
Because we're wanting to develop solar energy, right?
Yes.
So we're going to develop solar energy. This is great. Okay, that's fine. Okay, the problem with these tariffs is that they are not. They are the. I'm so frazzled. It's hard to fucking find words. The benefits that the money that is going to these other places that are developing these solar energies that are coming from America no longer are having that form of money.
The ones in America, though, right?
No, the ones out of America.
Well, like I said earlier, they can just export to a country that's not America. More countries than us are interested in solar.
We are the fucking country, apparently, to everybody else in the world except for, Russia and China. So if you completely cut off the fucking importing and exporting to a fucking superpower, you're going to feel it even if you are exporting to Russia and China instead.
That didn't stop the 11 other countries in the Trans-Pacific Partnership that just cut us out like we were nothing.
That's 12 countries combined. That is pretty much a
12
superpower.
big ones.
That is one giant place. Just like how the Americas is just 50 tiny powers put into one giant superpower. 50 states.
Tim says you're still talking about money, moving away from killing the planet, the people. It's not about the jobs, anything like that. I understand what you're getting at, Tim, and I fully, in terms of let's take away money as a whole. Yes, it's all about doing better for the planet and doing better for humanity. But in reality, the people that are making these solar panels or installing these solar panels don't give a fuck and are just looking for the most profitable source that they can go down. The more profitable solar is, the more interest it'll continue to garner from companies around the world. Because while I love the idea of solar and wish everything could just switch to solar over the next 10 years without any questions, that's not how it's going to work because it's all about money.
It very easily could. We very easily have the infrastructure that we can put in and money to do it. People don't want to because they want to allocate that money in other places that doesn't need it.
And they want to profit from it. Sure, if we just threw money at it, we could have probably solar on the entire nation in 5 years.
But people's sighting is just so fucking short. It's not going to turn around and give me $1 next month or a year from now. It'll give me $1 20 years from now. So it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
when in actuality, the conditions that you're putting people into by not having these things are going to ultimately cost you money.
Oh, no, I understand. I 100% understand. But unfortunately, that's how shit works.
That doesn't make it any better, Michael. Thank you for telling me that's how it works. But you know what? That's fucking garbage and everything should change. But nobody's going to fucking do it because everyone's fucking lazy pieces of shit.
Or bought off by the people that want the money.
Right.
So, in any case, shall we move on?
Yes.
Yes. Well, sort of, I guess. I mean, we're still going to be talking, if I can get the damn thing to do anything, we're still going to be talking about power.
Fuck no.
Oh.
2.
Electricity restored to 75% of customers in Puerto Rico.
This was submitted by Adam Cannon to Our World News.
And then that electricity was promptly lost. So they had gotten the infrastructure back up for about 75% capacity to all of the entire island of Puerto Rico that was hit about 6 months ago by Hurricane Maria and left completely devastated. That said, there was also an explosion at a power substation on Sunday, which then proceeded to have island-wide blackouts. So Puerto Rico's not really catching a break.
No, they're not. No one's helping them.
No, not even our own government.
I mean, Elon Musk is trying, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how much that's still going forward. I know that he provided, power for a couple of hospitals and stuff with his solar panels that he sent there. We haven't heard anything beyond that. That said, I saw a really interesting and very entertaining comic the other day that was something along the lines of that Puerto Rico is doing nothing to help itself. If they want change, they need to change it. And there's a line of people with Puerto Rican flags and stuff walking into Florida saying, "Don't worry, we'll remember that in a couple of years," or something like that. Because all of the Puerto Ricans, they don't get a valid vote while they're in Puerto Rico, but they are still American citizens, so they have residency in Florida, then that becomes a valid vote. And a humongous number of them are moving to Florida because Puerto Rico in so many areas is uninhabitable now.
Yeah, that place got completely fucked.
Yeah, it did.
But no, don't worry, guys, it's fixed.
Don't worry, we're providing support, sorta.
Money is more important, as we already know.
Except it's not, considering that the friggin' the Congress just passed a budget bill over the next 2 years that does nothing but just blow money out their ass.
Yeah, and I bet almost none of it goes to Puerto Rico.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, with the increase in budget to certain areas, one of the things that will be increased is disaster relief, but it doesn't designate that those funds will go specifically to Puerto Rico.
The disaster's already happened. We don't need to fund that.
Yeah, well. Let's see if I can find that comic real quick. Comic vote.
It really goes to show you how ignorant people are when it comes to territories like Puerto Rico and Guam.
Here it is. I wasn't quite right. I was pretty far off, actually. So it's a bunch of people with Puerto Rican flags and stuff on their suitcase and stuff with tickets to Florida, and it's Trump on the video camera that says, "Puerto Rico, you threw our budget out of whack," and it says, "Guess we'll have to throw your re-election out of whack."
Good. This fucking shit. If any Puerto Rican votes for Trump again, I'm going to ask you exactly why the fuck you consider yourself a Puerto Rican.
I mean, I would ask that question to a lot of people in general if they re-voted for Trump. Of course,
how do you consider yourself an American?
The only thing that I will state is, I guess it'll somewhat depend on who the opposition is. Because, I full well believe that if Hillary Clinton was the candidate again, that he would manage to get reelected because, goddamn, she's a star maker.
Yeah, she needs to stop running and stop politics and, I don't know, go out and make shoes or something.
I hope so.
Actually, being a shoemaker would be kind of fun.
Yeah? Do you want to become a cobbler, Nathan?
No. Absolutely not.
That's a shoemaker, Nathan.
Yeah, I know, and I don't want to. It'd be kind of fun, but I don't want to become a cobbler.
Oh.
Just because I sit there and, have fun jacking off, that doesn't make me want a career in jacking off.
You probably would if you could.
There's a difference between a hobby and a career.
So do you want to become a cobbler as a hobby, Nathan?
It doesn't sound half bad. It'd be kind of fun making my own shoes.
Dabble in cobblery?
Vivi says hurricane season is in 5 months. 5 fucking months. And her dad still has to boil all his water and have intermittent blackouts.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to change in 5 months.
I mean, if it does, hopefully there's not anything too severe come summer.
I hope that this hurricane season there are absolutely no hurricanes.
I mean, I think that's what we hope for most hurricane seasons, but...
That's fair, but... Actually, most hurricane seasons I don't even think about.
That's true, because we live in Alaska.
We get hurricanes up here.
Do we?
Not often.
When was...
I want to say there's like a hurricane force winds thing that we've gone through.
Well, that's different. It's like, because
I guess a hurricane's just a tropical storm. So if a tropical storm went super far north...
I say because... damn, that's a blank page. Because, like, a hurricane force winds, I think, if I remember correctly, is 77 miles per hour, which is not too difficult to achieve. I mean, we get those gusts in Palmer and across the flats and stuff.
All right, hurricanes in Alaska. Our last one was Typhoon Uri. Then we had November 2014 Bering Sea Cyclone, which was unnamed. We also had, in 2006, Hurricane Ioki. Then we had Hurricane Fausto in 2002. Then we had Hurricane John in 1994. Then we had Typhoon Tip in 1979. And then in the 1975 Pacific Northwest Hurricane.
Fun. So pretty intermittent. In any case.
1.
Trump sold a $40 million estate to a Russian oligarch for $100 million, and a senator wants to know why.
This was submitted by Feeks to Our World News.
So, you know,
then that senator is going to be politely asked to leave because he can't talk about those things, and then he'll be forced out of the room, just like the lady in the first one.
Well, I mean, that was in a House committee hearing in West Virginia, and this is, Congress. So instead, I think he'll just be shot on the spot.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. In Congress.
Yeah, right on the floor.
In the halls and everything.
Yeah, just right there, right on the floor. No questions asked.
It was an accident.
So now...
A hunting accident.
Yeah. I was hunting him by accident. Shh.
Did not mean for that to happen.
Oops. So, you know how we occasionally have these stories, especially on Trump, of where it's like you're grasping at things when there's so much meatier things that you could really be going after him for. The dude doesn't short you in any way on ammunition. This is kind of one of those. So he bought this estate in 2004, renovated it, slapped his name on it, and then in 2008 sold it back. Well, not back to the person, sold it again. This time to a Russian rich person for $95 million. This is not the first time that he did that. He had, it's one of the things that he has done several times across his, quote, career. And that is he would buy an estate from someone who is going bankrupt, so he's getting it at a severe discount because they're going bankrupt. So it's, like a foreclosed property. And then he would turn around, fix it up, slap some paint on it, and sell it for significantly more money because that's just what he did. This isn't even something that he tried to hide. He full well talked about and bragged about this to a reporter while he was on the campaign trail.
But if you ask him now, he's going to be like, no, I'd never said that. That's fake news.
Yeah, maybe he's not responded to it. I'm sure maybe he will eventually. But in any case...
he's going to deny it.
Like, it's already been confirmed that the special counsel with the FBI, Robert Mueller, is currently looking into it. But at the same time, this just feels like one of those just short little shitty straws that are irrelevant for the time being when there's so many other things that could be being looked at and addressed.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Okay, on a lib or a limb?
On a limb.
Oh, okay.
On a Liv Schreiber. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this absolutely has to do with Russiagate.
Is it being called Russiagate now?
Yeah, because nowadays, if you have some kind of thing, it's gonna have to have gate at the end of it.
The scandal of any kind.
Yep.
So now there have been requests for notes of basically the entire sale, where the funds came from and what the funds were used for, because there is a particularly interesting point of timing in regards to when it was sold. It was just a couple of months after Trump Entertainment Resorts had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So it's a time when Trump needed money.
I see.
So... We will see, but God, I feel like there's such better things you could load into your friggin' rifle to target him with.
You never know when this is actually going to come back and bite someone in the ass. What if he sold that fucking thing because of something related to the fucking related to the election?
Sure. I understand. And that's why they are wanting to look into it, but the problem that I have here is less with the senator itself and more of like people's interest in it, because there's so little information besides this is what happened and I think it looks sketchy. And then everyone's like, "Oh," and it's like, "Hey guys, calm down until we actually have anything." Like, I feel like so often, especially when it comes to Trump, people are so excited to ream him over the smallest thing when they don't actually have any teeth yet.
But at the same time, you can't let up.
I suppose.
You can't stop there and be like, oh, yeah, this thing happened and it was really shitty and we don't know all of the details, but I'm just going to shove that to the side because, whatever. That's, shit gets built up. This is great. I love this day and age where everything is just so public, because if someone does something shitty, everyone's going to fucking know about it, even if it's a minute little detail.
Sure. And people are paying more and more attention to the news now and are just eating up every little bit of information that is presented. So it does mean, though, that the news has a very heavy responsibility placed on them for things like this.
The news should always have a heavy responsibility placed on them. Maybe not for this kinds of reasoning, but I feel like journalism has really taken a hit in recent decades. There's not as many pure journalists nowadays,
Well, I mean, it's all about getting those clicks, Nathan.
Yeah, oh well, I guess.
Like, got to be able to pay bills to eat, right?
I guess.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me! Nathan, what'd you care about in the last 72 hours?
So, I have a friend.
Okay.
She went to Coots this last weekend.
Okay.
So, let me read this bit. So that girls' night that I was all excited about, we all went to Coots and watched burlesque and probably had a good time, but someone slipped something in my drink. A friend of mine noticed and got us out of there, but holy shit, the rest of my weekend was terrible because I thought I was dying for like a solid day. Hangover 5 times plus all the other kinds of BS. I only had 3 drinks over 3 hours, so I shouldn't have been hungover at all. I'm finally starting to feel normal again. So that's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
So let me explain why it's even more fucked up here in Alaska. One, there are no doctors in the Anchorage area at all that do drug screens of that nature for individuals.
Oh, really?
Alpine Urgent was the only one that tried to be helpful, like, okay, we could do it, but we don't have the right tubes and it won't test for everything, and you couldn't use the results for any legal actions, and it's going to be close to $1,000. She had excellent insurance. The only place I could go is the ER, which makes enough sense, but my insurance only covers the ER when I call to let my company know first, and they deem that why I'm going in is an actual emergency. Testing isn't considered an emergency. Without insurance coverage, we all know walking into the ER is already like your life savings. Part 2. Drug assault without having any physical assault having taken place, according to my research over the weekend, is kind of a gray area, and most people you try and talk about how to file a report for it are like, why? Nothing happened. You got lucky. Which is fucking... First of all. So the crazy thing is that this message really got me. I received way too much snark over the weekend. People asking why I hadn't gone to the bar yet to try and resolve it there, or why I didn't go immediately to the ER. I literally didn't have control of my limbs for like 16 hours, and after that couldn't move without throwing up until like midnight last night. So lucky from friends and such. I had a ton of support and people to take care of me, watch out for me at the bar, get us all home safe and beyond. I'm blessed there. I have so much rage, though, I need to write a piece on this or something, which I completely understand. But it's fucking absolutely baffling how she had pretty much no help except from her friends this entire fucking weekend.
It's understandable.
That's fucking aggravating. And we're one of the leading fucking places for sexual assault in America.
It makes me wonder, like...
There's no reason why our hospitals should not have that kind of technology and everything if we are the leading fucking place in America for these kinds of sexual assaults.
Yeah, that's very surprising. I wonder how many places actually exist that can do that quickly.
I fucking absolutely believe there should be more of those places here in Alaska.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not, and not even just in Alaska. I mean, like, if you were in, like, Washington, like Seattle, I wonder how many places you could actually go to.
it's crazy. It's one of the only reasons Alaska sucks.
And that whole isolation thing.
I can care less about isolation. Actually, I would enjoy isolation. The things that really get me is the cost of living in a shithole. So the cost of living and the sexual assaults and violent crimes that we have.
Well,
way too large.
Unfortunately, the cost of living is kind of not even just an Alaskan thing anymore. And I don't mind the isolation either. It's the cost to escape the isolation if you ever need to for any reason.
Yeah, that's kind of BS. I feel like America really needs to implement trains better.
Well, even if they do, I'm not sure how it's going to help us much.
Not coal-fired trains either. I'm talking about, like, electric trains, like super trains. And it would help us if you fucking put a train from the tippy-tip top of Alaska all the way to Anchorage, right?
Okay.
And then you had a train going from Anchorage down along the Panhandle, connected by bridges over these islands, and then from that island system over to Washington.
I'm not certain. I think it might be easier if you went underground, maybe, than trying to go above ground. Either fucking way, implement trains better in America. Tim says Russia is close to us. It's not that close.
It's fairly close, dude.
All the way out at the very end of the Aleutian Islands, where it is the closest to Russia. Yes, it's only 20 miles away. From like Anchorage, though, it's not close.
From Anchorage? But what about from Nome?
Still not that close.
How close is Russia to the U.S.?
That doesn't count.
To Alaska in miles, okay?
You're going to get that 20-mile bullshit.
No, I have 2,936 miles. But that's from, like, the middle of Alaska to the middle of Russia.
Like, you would need to choose, like, a Russian city on the coast. Like, I don't know, like Vladivostok or some shit. And then put in Nome. Or maybe, like, Bethel, because Bethel's over there.
St. Lawrence Island and Diomede Island, which Diomede is off of Wales, is very, very fucking close to Russia. Very close to Naukan. In fact, it's closer to Russia than... let's see. It's closer to Russia than Hawaii is from literally any other fucking island. It's closer to Russia than...
At the same time, though.
It's closer to Russia than Anchorage to the tip of that dick of Alaska.
At the same point, though, Wales has 140 people living there.
What? Like, hold on. Like, Wales?
Wales, Alaska?
Oh, okay. See, my brain is, when you said Wales, I was like, are you fucking retarded? Wales is over connected to Great Britain. They have way more than just 30 or 40 people.
Like, sure, the land itself is close. Like, but...
St. Lawrence Island has Gamble and Savunga.
And how many people live in those? Does anybody live in them?
I feel like I want to say Savunga.
There's about 1,300 people between the two towns.
And even if it's not the most tip of Wales, Nome is still fairly fucking close.
Sure, Nome is closer.
And Nome is probably the biggest fucking city over there, next to...
Probably. They got about 4,000 people.
Next to, like, Koyuk, maybe? Unalakleet?
No, Koyuk only has less than 400. Like, the thing is, most of these are native villages.
Deering? Hooper Bay. I think Hooper Bay is the closest. To Nome in population size.
Like, there's plenty of places that are real close to other places. It also means if there is anything relevant that's close to them.
But we're a lot closer than you would think to Russia.
It depends on what you mean by we.
Okay, so, not us. But Wales is closer to Naukan than Anchorage is to Homer.
Oh, yeah. That's fine.
Or Anchorage is to Seward, even.
Sure.
And it's almost the distance between Anchorage and Whittier. And you can go to all of those on the weekend driving.
What is the point of this conversation, by the way?
That Russia's a lot closer than you thought.
Well, I mean, I still don't understand the point of that statement,
I didn't even know. What the fuck is Wrangell Island State Nature Reserve?
I don't know.
I've never heard of this place.
Is it Wrangell?
It's Wrangell Island State Nature Preserve.
Is the city of Wrangell there?
I don't know if it's... I think it's part of Russia.
I don't...
Because it's got a bunch of Russian text.
Then probably? I don't know.
All of the English places do not have Russian texts.
In any case, I'm going to move on now. After fourth DWI, man argues legal limit discriminates against alcoholics.
I mean, you're not wrong.
He's not wrong?
No, it does discriminate against alcoholics.
I mean, it discriminates against everybody fairly.
Right.
Anybody who drinks at all.
That being said, if you're getting your fourth DWI, you are probably an alcoholic, first of all. Second of all, you should really have stopped after the first DWI.
And that's what the judge said, was like, it doesn't discriminate against alcoholics. You're still allowed to be an alcoholic. You're just not allowed to drive.
Tim in the chat says, tip of the dick of Alaska. Yeah, no, Alaska, growing up, I totally thought Alaska looked like a man running with a very tiny arm and a very long leg, and with a dick hanging out.
Well, now I have to look at a picture of Alaska. God damn it.
Like, the Aleutian chain is one leg running.
Okay.
The panhandle is the other leg.
Okay.
The little arm that Gnome sits on is there.
And that's the arm?
Mm-hmm. And the one above it is the head. And so the thing underneath the arm is the giant-ass knee that's bent. Okay. So he's got a giant-ass foot being the Aleutian chain. And then the dick with Kenai and everything in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the dick of Alaska. It's what I remember naming it as a kid.
Huh.
I mean, you see it, right?
Sort of.
The giant dick.
I don't see the giant dick, Nathan.
It's right there. And then you have those islands. It's like the skeet.
Hang on. Okay, so yeah, I could. This motherfucking Quasimodo motherfucker, though.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's not looking well. He's looking like the guy straight out of 300 who should have been, murdered as a child, but was managed to stay alive.
Sure. Wow.
But yeah, that's totally the dick of Alaska. Which means we are at the base of the shaft of Alaska.
Yes, we are, Nathan. We provide the strength.
Mm-hmm. For all of Alaska. At least the dick.
At least the dick. God damn it. All right, you ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Everybody, that was your 428th dose of the internet. If you would like to support this show to keep doses coming and get more doses per week, patreon.com/dailyinternet. You can also follow and share us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. All of those are at iReaditCast. You can also download the show and leave 5-star reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, and all of that helps the show immensely. Otherwise, follow me at Schwahn Michael and Nathan at Bimmenstein, and leave stories on our subreddit, which is our iReaditCast, or via email, which is feedback.ireddit@gmail.com. And that's it, everybody. That's it. Anything before we go, Nathan?
No, I hope more people start spreading the term dick of Alaska.
Spread dick of Alaska. Well, that's it, everybody. And please remember.
And yes, Lee, there are volcanoes. Lee in the chat asked if there's volcanoes on the tip of the dick. And there's volcanoes on the dick, maybe not the tip.
I apparently have not been getting all of the chat because Facebook's a dick.
I've decided to stay on the iReadit thing and just not post because when I'm staying on the iReadit thing, it loads everything from everyone. But if I move to my own thing, it only loads like half of them.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind in the future. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.